No gotchas today, Dom. Sorry.
There you go. There's your gotcha.
Here's
Here,
my
let me
gotcha.
find something to crush against my skull.
Oh, come on. I don't need this anymore.
You know what?
in my life.
You weren't here when I was giving him pointers. It was
You
like,
have your name as the Crusher of Claws. How can I not make a comment about
Yeah,
that?
I actually shouldn't have put that. I don't want that to be my thing
why is
anymore.
mine Helpful Rocketeer?
Because you didn't put a name to it.
But that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Considering
Even
what Vash has planned for me. I can't believe that.
Oh, what's planned for you? Oh my god, what is this? What does that
Are you
mean?
referring to a certain video that somebody has
Oh
been
my
working
God,
on for like the last 6 weeks?
It's been a week. We got to give a little bit of credit. It's only been a week since MSF.
Only been a
for
week.
MSF.
Yeah.
I know.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Overachievers Gaming Podcast, the Marvel Strike Force Insider Edition. I am your host, Vash, joined as always by Ashley Pastrami and Chef Crondo. Joining us this week is the captain of the donations from the MSF for MSF movement, RemanX. What's up, buddy? Thanks for joining us. I don't know. I was trying to find
What's going
something slick to say on the fly, but I couldn't remember what it was.
That was slick, the
So.
captain, man.
I was trying to find a song by Nate Dogg really fast, but I couldn't get it quick enough. So
Well, you can. Well, then we don't want to get like copyright infringement, which always happens. So
I mean,
it happens all. I literally
does it
had
really?
copyright infringement from the Star Wars Battlefront 2 beta on my YouTube account from like 3.5 years ago. I got it like last week. I was like, what the heck? What? Why is this happening now? Anyway,
Doesn't Nate
somebody's
Dogg
at
have
home
a
doing
song
their
that's
job.
like, smoke weed every day?
yes, he does. Yes.
There you go. There you
that's
go.
the one. You can find us on Instagram at og.podcast. Our Twitter is overachieversp. Our website is beingoverachiever.com, where you get this episode and every episode where we talk about video games, Marvel Strike Force, that thing Crondo just talked about. And exactly that face says it all, as well as other things. You can get us on every okay, this is today. You can get this
Vash's
podcast on.
podcast.
Yeah, this is my first time doing this. You can get us on every single platform.
Kids, if you're at home, just make sure this is what you sound like.
You can get us wherever you get your podcasts, and if you can, just leave us a 5-star review or any review telling us why you like this podcast, because that helps us the most, puts us in the algorithm for recommending people, the Matrix, seed theory for podcasters, all that fun stuff. So that's what we're here for, to do that. So, and if you want to support us, you can do so by throwing us a Twitch Prime sub at twitch.tv/OG podcast, or there is a $5 option on our patreon.com/overachievers if you want. Don't have to, but
now let me tell you something, pal. If you don't, I'm gonna find you.
The Crusher of Claws and the Crusher of Dreams.
The Crusher.
Anyway, this week on Marvel Strike Force, for what we're doing here, I'm just talking, don't know what the hell I'm doing. Since last time we were here, we had the MSF for MSF charity stream of those 24 hours. Since if you guys tuned into that when we did that lost, we just got rated. Awesome. So if we're doing this live on Twitch, Twitch, oh my goodness, I should.
Oh man,
Twitch.tv/OG podcast is when we're doing this live. We did that live last week as well. But so we raised just under $15,000 as a community for the Doctors Without Borders. I can't say it in French, so Reman, you might be able to do it better than me. Even better than me. So I thought that was awesome. That was a great movement. I thought that was a great cause to give to for the community. It
was a great day.
It was a great day. We had a lot of good fun on that. I'm working on a highlight edit right now for that. I'm hoping to have that done by the middle of next week.
A lot of emotions, man. It was a lot of emotions. Yeah.
Honestly, I nearly cried at that. It was so funny. And
I actually was brought to tears. I'll tell you why. I know a lot of the community on a personal level, and some of these guys had lost their job. Some of these guys that were the biggest gifters out there, and it wasn't just one or two people, but everybody. I had a list, and there were like 300 donors on the stream. So it was pretty incredible, the outpouring of support. And I'm like tearing up already just thinking about it. But a lot of these guys, lost their jobs, had family members that were affected by this. Paulo, who put this together, is basically at ground zero over in Italy
in
medical school.
Wild.
All these things for me were why it was such a personal promotion for me. And again, I probably went overboard with some of the emotion.
Bro, I deep throated donuts for $50, man. Like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, I mean, yeah, exactly.
Exactly. You just gotta, yeah.
Oh man, good one.
Hey, Raymond, you're quick, dude. You're quick.
That was very quick, man. He fired that one off, no questions asked. But no, it was great. I that was probably like, I would say that's the second most fun day I've ever had streaming. And then like, I also really like the fact that like Ashley and I kind of had like the back-to-back comedy hour, because it was like, dude, I was laughing like the whole time for mine. Yep. And then like his started, and he started off crushing a can. So it was like, I'm like, oh, this is about to be.
I crushed 3 cans on my fucking head. Oh, sorry.
Just like my Valorant gameplay, like you started like at a 10, right? You were like, and then by the time you hit that like tall boy White Claw, like the second one, or I'm sorry, like you could tell the buzz was just like setting in, dude. Like,
oh yeah, without a literal doubt.
It was beautiful.
Because I had a regular spiked seltzer. I had a Pabst Blue Ribbon hard coffee, which is the most disgusting thing on the planet. Why we had those? So they had them at the bodega, and it was like $5, and we were like, we're gonna try. It was the most disgusting thing I've ever. One of the most disgusting things I've ever tasted. I'm not kidding.
So was it more coffee or beer?
It was the sweetest thing I think I could have ever tasted in my life. It was so disgustingly sweet. I couldn't believe it. Yes.
So it's like a sugar overload. It wasn't like it wasn't like it was vomit in a can.
A good mixture, I think, of both. Yeah.
Did you guys ever?
Okay. All right. Well, then that's whole. You can't say sweetest thing, and like you got to make sure you qualify vomit in a can. Don't do it.
Cut them off.
But then we ran out of booze, and Mallory was like, "Do you want me to go get you some stuff at the? You want me to run to the bodega?" And I was like, "Oh, my darling, I love you. Thank you for the stream. You're the best." She comes back, and it's just this tall ass White Claw that was just so thick, 2 C's thick, and I crushed it on my head. Had a welt in my head for 3 days. So never doing that again. Yeah.
I did tell you I watched it live, and I just want to give you a little pointer. I know you may never do it again after the welt, but you're supposed to create like a crumple zone. You're supposed to like when you crush it. Part of it is your
I say
hand
it beforehand.
I'm
like, hey, sorry guys, I got to pinch this. I can't do it. Yeah.
Yeah, but
it wasn't enough.
I didn't see that. You did that
to say the least.
We were watching the playback, and the sound was like a thunk. Like it was a hardcore, just a thunk hitting your head.
The first one is the best. It was amazing because it's like you turn to the side and you like. Like you just drive it into your It was
the one that we did like 2 weeks ago on
with Casino,
with Casino, that was the best. I think that is now
is the OG.
That is, I think, Dom, that's your follow animation as well as my follow animation too. It is the best thing. So
I feel like he's not happy about the precedent that he's setting for himself right now.
Well, the first thing that happens in the charity stream is crush a claw, dude. It wasn't even like, I think actually was Whopper or someone, and it wasn't even like, oh hey, how's your day going? This is so cool. I'm so happy. This is a while that you guys are doing this. Oh man, you guys are the best. No, it was crush a claw in your head, you idiot.
Yeah.
And you did it for charity.
So next time, Ashy, I will be a gentleman, and I will ask you how your day is going before I ask you to smash something into your skull.
Thanks, baby.
Did you guys not hear the story? By the way, have you guys like actually heard the story? After I was on your podcast, an interesting thing happened because it was a day before my birthday.
Did you win the lottery
on my birthday?
Oh, okay.
No, not at all.
Not get 5%.
Not at all. No. So actually, it was a little bit different. It was me in a bathtub. You guys know the bathtub story?
This is the ferret. The ferret in the bathtub.
No, there's no ferret. What story are you talking about,
bro?
Oh, yeah, but that was.
Tony's version. Actually, which I was forced to play his video telling all my stream. They made me play his video telling on my stream. We have a great community.
Yeah, that's his version. But so what happened was I came on my birthday, and I did my birthday stream afterwards, and I was exhausted, and I said, "Hey, honey, can I get a massage?" And I was back in the gym. By the way, I can't go to the gym anymore. They've closed them all down here in Connecticut. And so she's like, "No, I got stuff to do." She's playing like with a video game, and if you guys don't know, I joke around because she's always in the back of some other guy's horse in like Red Dead Redemption or some shit like that. So
okay,
got the horses in the back.
So,
You know?
priority.
So anyway, so she actually goes, "Okay, so I'll make you a bath." And I'm like, "Bath? I haven't taken a bath in years."
Dude,
No, I was
baths
in
are
a shower,
fucking best.
but I
You
mean,
should
I've
take
never
a
taken an actual. Dude, I know. I mean, I figured this out. So she throws in like a lavender bath bomb, and I hop in the bathtub, and because she's playing around with me, because that's the relationship we have. And I hop in, and there's all my kids' toys in there too. So I'm like, fuck. So I take them out, and I'm taking them out, and so I'm like, oh, this isn't so bad. This is actually really good. This is like relaxing. So I doze off, and then I'm sitting there, and I wake up, and something's like whacking me in my belly, and I'm like, oh crap, it must be one of my kids' toys. So I wind up, and I'm like gonna thwack it away, and I scream ah! As I hit my own nuts as they were floating. So I'm 44 years old, and it's an actual thing, like physiologically. I can tell you guys how it actually physiologically works.
I can't believe you just told
when
this
you're
story.
in like warm water,
I thought this was a fake story.
Nope.
I thought when Tony told the story, it was a joke. I'm crying.
I hopped on Tony's stream afterwards. I'm like, "Tony, this just happened to me. I can't
Oh
believe
my
it.
God.
My balls were floating in the bathtub." And so I told the story on his stream, and ever since, that is why there is a thwackamo on my channel. If you guys don't know, and the nuts are there.
Reman, thank you so much for setting the precedent that this day is now.
You're welcome. We're going to talk about
What's
MSF.
the
Who cares?
Speaking of which, they thwacked ours.
This is
goodness.
a just chatting podcast, and now
Yeah, exactly. This is just chatting at this point. Yeah. So speaking of thwacking our nuts this week, we had the rollback event from the ability challenge from 11 and 12. So essentially, what's happening is FoxNext has said that they're going to anybody who's completed 11 and 12 at prior or after April 14th is when they introduced the bug. Essentially, when the Red Star rework happened,
Bug?
they're going to roll it. Yeah,
In
bug
this game?
quotation. No. They're going to roll back, so they're going to reset everybody who completed it back to 11 and 12, but they're not going to take the ability, like all your rewards that you got from doing the event. So which, in the grand scheme of things, is the better way to do it if they're going to do it at all, which I don't agree with whatsoever. But I feel like if they're going to, at least they're not going to be like, okay, well, now we're going to take back all,
I thought they were taking back the materials. That's what I thought. When I first read it, I read it as we're taking your stuff.
Well, you guys do realize so this is their third attempt at fixing this node at this challenge, right? So the first time it came out, we figured out that Hela would target Greg, and so the AI was just like Captain Marvel would just target Greg, and you kind of went in this loop cycle where you could feed your other supernatural team energy, and then just basically win, right? So when they fixed that. It was fixed for about a week, and then the Red Star Challenge came out. And so I didn't think it was bugged. I was like, oh, they're making good on this because of all the people that were able to complete it. So I honestly thought, well, maybe somebody there was like, oh, wait, we're going to make good. They don't really matter that much. I mean, wow. The difference is like 2 a day or every 3 days. But nope. Let's
not give out the rewards in a timely manner for people who have completed Dark Dimension 3, but let's fix the bug that gives player an advantage in a game.
Wait. People who have finished Dark Dimension 3 haven't been rewarded?
They got recently, a week after the Red Star rework. So you guys hear this?
You can explain.
I thought I heard something like that, but I didn't know.
I kind of briefly told you about it, but no, I don't think I went to as far as detail as the helpful Rocketeer.
That's really funny.
The default name is up there. I guess if you don't assign yourself a name, default. I'm the helpful Rocketeer.
Really funny.
Wow. So basically, what happened was the Red Star rework included the actual changes in the rewards, so that when you beat DD3, you got those rewards. So people who had beaten it the week prior or whenever, like for instance, whenever Tadano Mac beat it, he hadn't had rewards. So it took him a week to deliver those rewards in a manual request. There were only 13 people who had beaten it up until that point.
So do we know why?
So that was...
Well, it could be due to the pandemic that's going on. It could be due to incompetence. It could be.
Do you think it's because they just did not anticipate anybody beating it that quickly? So this will make the second time that they didn't anticipate that somebody would beat it that quickly.
What did that happen with DD2 also?
Yeah, 100%. Widowmaker like blasted it off because he's the first person that. Well, I don't know if he's the first person, but he pretty much discovered the whole Minerva strat where she could effectively drain people's health, like their large health pools, based off the fact that, there's multiple things, but
so Crocs has there's some comments out there. So what happened is they changed the way that it was going to work. It was supposed to be the 7-star orb, right? They were going to get that was going to guarantee no dupes, and then people are like, oh yeah, thanks. Thank you for my obvious, 7-star crap tune that you put in there because you got no idea. So they did change the promo credits. But however, that wasn't a big deal. The problem was some of these guys swiped their credit cards to beat it. All right. And that's, because that's the challenge that was there was it actually does take that. If you want to get through it quickly, you're going to have to, revive your team at some point. Well, the next day that it goes live, some players were beating it, getting their rewards, and they're like, hey, did you get your rewards yet? Look what I got. The 7-star I just upgraded. And they're like, screw that. Why don't I have mine? And they sent ticket after ticket after ticket after ticket. And there was like, no big deal.
I mean, that kind of seems like a valid reason to get your money back.
We're not going to talk about that, but I mean that's because that's rumor and speculation. We don't know for sure what's happening behind the scenes, but I do know that quite a few people were upset about it. The 13 people that were ignored,
13 people. I can't even tell you when I'll even set foot in Dark Dimension. The fact 13 people would be wild.
I mean, you probably will. I wouldn't say that.
There's like 27 now. I think.
Where are you at on Dark Dimension 3, Reman?
I am stuck on Cosmic because I only have 2 members of a Cosmic team because I cannot get stuff that I want to drop.
I think I'm still on node 3, so I'm still getting pummeled by the Ms. Marvel, Black Panther, America Chavez, every single brawler that's in that node just beating me up.
Jesus.
Yeah. And to be fair, those guys that beat it already, and then they had that fix in there, the fix was to give you more energy, and they're like, oh, well, we already beat it. What do we get?
Yay. Fantastic customer service.
Feels bad, man.
Whale less, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I mean, think about it. If your biggest supporters are spending all that money and you can't find a way to and again, I mean, there's so many issues here. And I think the biggest one for that whole rework is that challenge was changed 3 times, and you only decided now when it was in the favor of the players to go back and fix it.
A very valid point. That because didn't they have an issue with it previously where, actually, you know what? I can't even remember, but I definitely remember there being an issue with that last one. And I've always wondered because if you've noticed all the other missions when you auto sim them, they instantaneously come back, but that one challenge lags every time you do it, and I've always wondered why. I don't know. You ever noticed that?
I have noticed that, yes. There's a thing that happens. It also, like the bug of, if you're in the middle of a war fight and a room explodes, there's that whole thing where like your game freezes for 15 seconds, which happened to me yesterday while streaming. That was fun. So I was like,
if that happens during your Red Skull fight, could actually make or break your fight, because yesterday I did one where I came down to the last 2 seconds and I finished it off. But then again, I don't have, any crazy Black Bolt teams to clap it down with.
So that's the unfortunate drama for this week for our community is that just that rollback. We'll see what happens with it. I think they only did it once before, like if I want to remember, like in like 6 months in the game with something to do with credits in the store or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's been a year and a half since that happened, so I'm trying to remember what it was.
I don't think I've ever remembered them rolling.
Yeah,
back.
They did once previously, but I don't remember what the specifics were.
The specifics was the elite orbs when people were they had an exchange rate of 1. So basically, your elite orb credits 2,000 got you 2,000 orbs.
Okay. Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah, it was a rollback, so that was fun. So we had the Tadano Mac Japan Iron Fist Blitz, which it's kind of like the Scientist Supreme and the Sif Blitz, where if you pushed hard enough, you could get a 5 red star. Iron Fist, if you wanted to, I shielded a cool 19 million for that one. So I'm kidding. I'm joking.
No, you're not.
I did
not.
4 million for that Blitz. That was it.
So, I don't believe it.
We call you
You're
Mr.
straight up
101,
like
though,
a
right?
freaking gambling addict. Like,
I
I need you
not.
to show me proof that you scored 4 million in the Blitz. I need hard evidence.
You want me to? All right,
Otherwise, I don't believe
I'll
you.
take a screenshot.
Yeah, take a screenshot. I don't believe you.
It might have been 5.
It might have been 5.
Oh, it might have been
Mr.
5. It's
101.
already going up.
Let's see.
Leave Mr. 101.
Exactly.
That's the worst place to be. I've been
5,700,000.
I've been at 101.
I'm looking at it right now.
I was at 16 with the top 15 for price, so I've been there.
Yeah. And then we have the Venom Blitz going on right now, which will end for, once the Red Star, end at reset for Red Star. And then we have the 2 times as Guardian drops happening right now, or will happen at reset as well tonight. So if you're listening to this, it's already happened. I'm sorry. So, which I'm actually excited for because I'm so close to having a 7-star Hello, which is what is keeping me from a 7-star Black Bolt. So looking forward to that because I feel like I can push to get, now that we'll have Crystal Farmable, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to get a 7-star Karnak if I push hard enough, which is what's going to keep me from at least a 6, if not 7-star Ebony
Where's
Maw.
Crystal going to be farmable at? Where's she coming
Arena Store.
Arena Store. That is official Arena Store. Yep. So your Arena credits.
And I did the math on it. Well, actually, depends on where you're at. So I have her at 4 stars, like halfway to 5. No, actually, I have her at 5, halfway to 6. And I need take her from halfway to 5 all the way to 7 is 43,000 arena credits. But, I have 36,000 arena credits because I haven't needed an arena character in forever since Heimdall, I think. And so with that, it's very easy just to you get, depending on where you place in your arena. Even if you place like top 200, you can still get like a good chunk. I think like 300 or 350 a day. So it's with her costing 500, you can easily get that. So.
Man, I was at 66th place last night. I woke up this morning 273.
Oh
I hate my arena shard so much, dude. Yeah, people will always say to me, like when I'm streaming, they're like, "How are you not in like the top 10?" Like, and I'm like, "Bro, what do you want me to do, man?" Like, I literally.
There's a whole other screen where you can set your defense. Though, right?
David.
Man, Revan, you're so fired today, dude.
Yeah.
Usually your jokes suck, but I mean today they're great.
I'm pretty sure.
I feel like maybe the charity stream, like it kind of like awoke his inner spirit, and now he's like he's straight up like Super Saiyan, power over 9,000,
exactly,
just firing off quips, like just getting fired, like he's gonna dominate the Red Star market, even though he already is. Like it's just RemanX is about to take over Marvel Strike Force. I see it coming.
Well, if I took over, we wouldn't have Yo-Yo and Premium Orbs.
Yeah.
Hey, that.
RemanX for Fox Next CEO president, ladies and gentlemen.
It doesn't work 2020. Like we don't get a vote in that.
What?
We don't get a vote.
You know what's interesting? I know it obviously goes like shard by shard. But like I've only ever had, like last night I went to sleep and I was ranked 30 in arena. And I woke up at 60 and I'm never. And I don't think my defense is all that special, but I'm never in a crazy pushback like that. Is it just my shard? Am I just not in like a try hard shard or something? Could it be that? Like
it could be that. It could be depending on who's also attacking you, that kind of thing too. So it's like I'm sure
like
arena
it still is random. Or not random, but I mean I still am.
It's activity. Your shards are all about activity and are all about when you started. I mean, and people might go like they might see Chef Crondo's name and are like, you know what?
Okay.
No, I can assure you of that. I bet you any money.
People are probably like, "Oh, I see. Somebody know Chef Crondo? Take him out."
I just think, I personally, I'm in a day 2 shard, and it's like if you look at the top 20 of my arena shard, it's all like top 10 alliances in the game. So like, it's just a very competitive arena shard where there are people that are wailing out super hard. So I was consistently in top 50 back when I got Phoenix because I was kind of like ahead of the curve, so to say. But then once everybody got Phoenix, it kind of leveled out the playing field, and there are very few people with Black Bolt in my arena shard. So it's like,
Well, you're about to be one of those few people.
yeah, oh yeah. I'm hoping for the short period of time that, you know, before Ebony Maw rolls out, that might give me some kind of like competitive advantage to catch back up. But we'll see.
Yeah, it definitely should. I'm also in one of those like super early shards where like I have like everyone from Legion of Cabal, Pants of Hulk, Baby Yoda, all that fun stuff.
Yo, you got Fates. That's like
that is crazy.
Yeah, I would not be happy.
What's
about
his
that.
team? Didn't you say to switch it up?
He just switched. Actually, I took a screenshot of it. I'll tell you what it is in 1 second. Let me not bring. Actually, I'll put it on the stream so you guys can see what it looks like. But it's
Yeah, make sure you get that folder out of there. We don't see your.
It's he switched up his arena defense. So here it is on the stream right now. It's 555,081. So he's got a 6 red star Colossus,
That's a 7 red star Black Bolt,
7 red star Black Bolt, 5 red star Crystal, 6 red star Mr. Sinister.
all G14,
all G14.
And you guys do know that his team is smaller than mine, right? No.
You know what, Ashley? It's okay, buddy. We're in the same ball. We're in the same playing field, man. I'm over
By
here.
the way, guys, I did drop my seed theory video this week. I'm not gonna. I mean,
No,
I
oh, you're
I don't
hype
want you to hype
yourself.
yourself. Get the hell out of here. In fact,
I did a very terrible cut on it because somehow I changed the output resolution, so I looked minimized. But enjoy.
Yeah,
it's out there. You guys will see me pull a 6 red star on stream.
I think it was a 6 red star Mr. Fantastic, right? Yeah, so we'll
Mr. F.
post that in the link below. So if you want to take a look at that, look below, and you can click on that link, and you can see RemanX's seed theory. And so, so anyone who's had questions about seed theory and how to execute it and all that fun stuff, it's all there. And I think it was very informative. So I thought it was.
Wait, Charlie.
Yeah,
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It was. That was one of the things that was unlocked for the MSF or MSF. We did a couple of things. I did the 6 red star elite orb because I told you I never open them, and I said if we hit a certain number I was going to open one live. I did that on stream, and boy, that was the exact result we thought it would be.
Well, what'd you get?
So, it's comedy. If you haven't seen the link, you should see the link. It's out there.
Oh, was this the one you posted
somebody-
yesterday in the chat?
Yeah, the
Okay.
Hydra
Mhm.
armor guard.
Yeah.
That was so good.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like the Price is Right fail thing, like the little horn that they have is hilarious.
No, that was Curb Your Enthusiasm,
was it?
wasn't it?
At the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Kirby Enthusiasm. It was the Kirby Red Stars. Thank you.
Yes,
Ghost
exactly.
Fallen
Kirby Red Stars. So,
Yep.
All right. So, what else are we missing? The recap of the week. I think it's just all of that stuff, right? And then we have the stuff coming up, which is the Crystal to the Arena store. On Thursday, we'll have the Corvus Glaive Blitz, supposedly, because I think it's like all the normal marquee characters blitzes normally happen over the weekend and whatnot. So, GG's if anything gets blitz.
Yeah, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
And then we have coming out, I guess, next Friday will be the first iteration of the Chaos Theory Flash event. So that's the event that requires Wakandans.
My favorite team.
That's my Baltimore accent coming out a little bit there. Which will, they're the first. They said the first 5 or first 4 stages will require 4 Wakandans, and then after that it will require 5.
So the good news is looks to be just like our other flash challenges where you'll get a limited number of credits, so you'll be doing 1, 2, then 3. It isn't as if we're going to go to 7 that first week. So it'll be 3 months before we can complete the 7th,
which is good because it gives people a chance to work on them. And they've said in the past that they'll actually run the Shuri Legendary event before the second time it comes around, so people who don't have Shuri can farm their Spider-Verse, their Sinister Six, whatever it is that they want to do to get that ready to go for the Wakandans for Shuri's Legendary event. Which in the grand scheme of thing, at the time when they announced, I was like, oh, they're actually paying attention and like doing something to help people. And then they post up all this stuff that's happened recently. I'm just like, well, they tried. Somebody else pulled the trigger elsewhere and did it. But
so I guess so. This is also we've had the Red Star rework. We kind of see the results, and we've had a week of playing around, 2 weeks of playing around with U7. Do you guys feel like it's easier?
Personally, for me,
it's easier for me.
Granted, I'm not going as far as you guys. I just get to. Let me see where I get to. What node? I do the far left side, and I usually get to node. Was that 1, 2?
Just who's on it? Is it a boss node? Is it Vision?
It's from Streets to Space.
So yeah, if you're doing far left, it's a Vision node. Yeah, his middle is running
There's no Vision here.
at the very end.
Oh, the very end. I don't get there. Oh God.
No. The third mini boss node is.
Oh yeah, I don't. No. I do about 3-4 nodes, and it's way before I used to have to, go in twice and stuff like that. But now I'm one hitting nodes, which is, But also
Great.
I'm doing like kind of like a tech wing deal, which I wasn't doing. I was just doing like BKT crap, So yeah, it's definitely going better for me.
Yo, can I? Because an enigmatic Squire asked a question about U7 teams. Can I plug the team you gave me,
go for
Charlie?
it.
All right, so this team, it doesn't have Black Bolt or Yo-Yo. It's kind of like a variation of Tech Wing. So it's got Scientist Supreme, Shuri, Ultron, and then Magneto and Symbiote Spider-Man. This team absolutely slaps in U7. Like, I go through the middle lane, auto battling, and just I get to like, I got all the way to the very end without really like doing too much in terms of like keeping track of what they were doing. And maybe I got lucky, but I don't know. I mean, I score like 30 mil plus with it every day, so it slaps if you don't have Black
Honestly,
Bolt.
if I wasn't saving all my bio stuff for Black Bolt right now, I would dump into my symbiote so hard. I'm about to get. Well, I'm not about to. I'm 100 shards or whatever. I'm blanking on terms right now to get him to 5-star, and I'll have him at 5 red star.
Ooh, nice.
And
so you'll probably get him on the second round to 5-star when he comes back around.
Yeah, probably. I unfortunately don't think I'm going to get him. When does this end? The current one?
I think it's we still have 2 more weeks. So
I doubt I'll get 100 by then.
I mean, you can figure it out. You could,
Yeah, and we can help you.
Well, I mean, tomorrow we get Black Bolt, and I'm going to be spending a lot in the next couple of days after that, like getting him up. So, I mean, I'm going to get a lot of milestone hits, but I don't. Yeah, we'll see. We'll figure it out.
I forget the actual numbers.
Just do it in stages. Don't level them all up. You got like 4.
Yeah,
you'll get it.
As long as you're smart with it on how you want to, proceed with your milestones. You take a couple days because you don't have to do it all at once.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Take 3 days or so to level them up, and then you'll be fine. And then you can like run them. You should be able to hit those milestones because I think it's 4 million or so to go from 0 to 75, 4.5 million. So like you can space that out over 3 days if you want. Collect all those milestones because you also get. I think it's a total of like just under 6 to also get him all geared up with abilities and everything like that. So I hope you.
It's just under 6. So it's like 11 million or something like that is a magic number, and you should be able to get.
So I definitely recommend if you have tier 4s saved up, Dom.
I only have enough for one of them. One of his
then
abilities.
If that was the case, I'd probably say he's basic first, right, Reman? Or do you say passive?
So it depends on do you want to use him in arena or do you want to use him the best possible ability for him? And I would probably say his passive is going to do the real work, and his ult do the real work.
So
in U7.
In arena is probably the first thing I'll like gear him for, just because that's like the thing I could actually use him in now, right?
Mm-hmm.
U7, I'm not in a position where I need him right now. I'm doing what I need to do. We only 30% anyway, so like what I'm doing is more than enough. Definitely. So
when you do his
passive, cool.
Because you want him to burp on people and their
coronavirus on people.
Perfect.
And that's how they
burping, coughing.
They die from coronavirus. So with Black Bolt.
Yep.
So, but yeah, so that's Black Bolt's coming out. Tomorrow. So the event will be happening now. If you're listening to it. So
oh shit, it's tomorrow.
Yeah, 27th, bro. Monday at reset. So this is still going on. So the nice thing is if you don't have Black Bolt yet, you still have 3 days. You don't have to unlock him the day one. So if you're still slightly missing him, you can still go and try to get, you can farm up your characters to get them at that point. Because right now, like you said before, there's a double shard event going on for all as Guardians, which would be Hela and Loki, I want to say. Right? Because Thor's in the raid store, Heimdall's in the arena, and then just Hela and Loki.
It's just Hela and Loki, yeah.
So that's what's coming up for that. And then anything else coming up that you guys are looking forward to in the next week or so? Or in the future? Anything?
I'm looking forward to seeing the community's reaction when they finally roll this shit back in the ability enhancement thing.
Dude,
I can't wait to see Reddit that morning. It's gonna be shit fire posts everywhere.
I stopped going to Reddit like maybe about a month ago because it just got so toxic and I was just getting so exhausted from it. And then I was like, you know what? For the MSF, I'll go back on Reddit. And I was like, nope, my God, this is the worst. Like, this is, I mean, like everyone, it's just I understand that people are upset and it's a complaint fest, but geez, my goodness, dude, it is so toxic. It's insane. Like, I mean, come on.
It's pure pessimism at its finest.
Like, can't we find I get it, like it's a game, people think it's the company is whatever predatory, which
I don't think
disagree
it's even
with.
necessarily, it's not, I think you're looking at this at two of an like a not in like a broad enough swath here. Like it's not necessarily that like people on Reddit are like mad at the game. People on Reddit are just mad because they can be. It's pure anonymity. Like it doesn't matter. They could be as vile as they want, and that's just how the internet is. They say the internet's the last bastion of true freedom of speech, and it is absolutely that, because people can say and do what they want without any repercussion most of the time, unless you have no connection to your personal life anywhere. So like it really gives people this. And there's been like actual like studies of this. It gives people the ability to think that they could just act as terrible as they can because they can. So it's not even that people are just pissed about this ability worker. It's true, but like whenever any subreddit that's attached to any community, you'll find there's a lot of vileness into it because people can be that way.
So it's not a problem with MSF. It's a Reddit problem, is what you're saying.
I mean, you see it even worse in 4chan, obviously, because it's even worse in terms of anonymous, like acting.
Yeah, the anonymity factor where you're able to, bad actors can perform.
Exactly. You don't have to worry about zero repercussions. So it's like, what's wrong with these devs at MSS? They are the worst people. They should. It's like, okay, all right, man. Yeah, it sucks. Maybe relax a little bit. Well, yeah. And that's all you see, especially the MSF Reddit. Jesus, like.
The thing is that people want to argue with each other. That's the best part. Like
that's exhausting,
for me, it's
man.
It's amusing to read. I think it's fun to read it, but
I don't know. It's fun to read for a time being, but then it starts to get to you after a while, man. I had to stop. Like it's just, I don't even think I'm subscribed to the MSF subreddit. I mean, I do occasionally, so like to post stuff, or like when we do, like I even stopped posting the podcast to it just because like people would be like, "You guys suck," blah blah blah. I'm like, We're trying to like add a voice to things. Like, okay, thanks. Your comment is appreciated.
It's crazy, guys. I look at the titles and I try to look for stuff that's relevant. I mean, because so the thing about it is Reddit does have some relevant things, and I kind of picture this. And if you guys want to we'll go back in time to a time before we had our community manager Cerebro. Imagine Cerebro's first day on the job when he goes to Reddit for the first time.
This poor man.
I mean, think about it. I mean, you got to think about the community that we have. The poor guy, it's probably like getting in front of an audience that's booing already and throwing tomatoes.
That's why I always say, like, don't shit on the community managers. They are not devs. They are not board members. They are not people who are making decisions. They are literally just the messenger. And like, they just get so, and that the community managers also, they're not the ones that are probably making, they're probably not writing up. Well, they might be, depending on how small the company is. But usually there's like a team of like people in HR marketing that are like writing up what they're going to say. But who knows if they
legal,
exactly,
a legal representative that makes sure that things come out.
So they're literally they're not in charge of like any kind of decision or like discussion. It's just they're just literally the ones that's like, I'm the one saying this to you. Yeah.
Yeah, our community managers are actually they become a lot more accessible.
I've heard since they came out. I mean, who posted? Was it Paulo who posted the actual charity stream idea, or not idea? Like announcement to Reddit, because I remember seeing those comments shitting on the charity stream.
I think it was Wolverthor.
Wolverthor did.
You don't have to donate to this. You don't have to do anything. You don't even have to watch it. You don't.
My favorite was there was a guy that literally made a post that was like, "Look, I know that he said something to like don't donate or don't give money to MSF to Fox Next," and then like goes on to describe like why you shouldn't give money to Fox Next, and it's like, don't. You realize that we're not asking for money. Like I like,
but that's the thing, right? Is there's a lot of misconceptions out there about everything, and people become an expert on anything when they have their voice and they're not being challenged by people. So Reddit does have its place. I think there can be constructive people.
No,
I think a Reddit is a mirror of the moderators. And I don't mean that's like as a knock to the moderators. It's almost impossible to moderate that chat when Foxnex continuously pushes our face down in the mud. I mean, so you got to realize that it's got to come out somewhere. That frustration has to be aired somewhere. So I don't fault the people when their voice is like, "Hi, but shut up. We're gonna ability changes are being done. Nothing you can do about it. Enjoy." Okay, Mr. Foxnex, thank you.
Can I have some more, please? Thank you.
That's funny.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
Can you take my ability mat challenge away from me after you gave it to me, please? Thank you.
Yeah, so I mean, and the worst part about it was, I'm going to say this out loud. I was telling people, look, it's changed. And maybe it was on purpose. Maybe it's a mea culpa. I realized that's probably not in their vocabulary at this point in
my
time.
vocabulary, dog.
Mea culpa. You're Italian. What? Mea culpa.
Hey, let me tell you something, Pallery. I'm from Brooklyn. Okay, I don't know what that shit is.
God.
If you're from Brooklyn, listen. So back in my family, when my family came to the country, you were allowed 3 mea culpas, and then you just went missing.
I actually don't know what this is. I never heard of this.
You've never heard of this, dude? Tom, we'll have to talk offline. I don't want to like this.
An
this stuff
acknowledgement
is
of one's fault or error. Insider stuff.
It comes from a prayer, but the Cosa Nostra and the mafia used it.
Yeah, we don't know nothing about that. That doesn't exist.
Exactly.
You're getting things wrong. It's like wrong discussion. As you do the mustache.
Yeah, let me. You're talking. All right, I'm done. I'm sorry. Oh God.
All right. Anything else you guys are looking forward to coming up, or is that it?
Black Bolt.
I got one. It's huge. Ready? ISO 8s. I'll leave it there.
You're excited for ISO 8?
Moving on.
Now you can really get the hell out.
Oh no! You want to know why? Because I you guys want to hear wild Reman's.
I thought they dropped ISO 8.
I mean, they pushed it back.
No,
they didn't drop it, as in like it's not out, but they're
it's coming soon. They kicked it. They kicked it so far down the field we forgot it's here. But now we're at that part of the field that it's coming.
Because originally it's supposed to come out in February.
I need to hear. What this.
Yeah, so if you want wild speculation, the first biggest thing that's a problem in this game right now that people don't even realize is there's no API. API would solve the problem for like all the cheaters, all that stuff, because that would let them, basically take a look at what the servers are doing and what's happening on the server. Second thing is, if you're in a war fight and you're like looking at a team, you don't know if they're level 71 or 75, and that could make an impact if they're G14 or whatever. Well, it's G14 or 75, but you don't know what their resistance are. That's like if you're going in there and you're like, oh, that looks like a weak team, and suddenly they're resisting everything. You're like, oh crap, that was 74. I didn't even notice that. They just didn't take it to 75. So there's no like those stats, those queries that happen with an API are gone. So ISO 8, there's so many ways they can get it wrong, but think about it. There is going to be another level of progression that's coming out soon, whether it's the level cap increase, which probably is sooner than we want it to be, and then ISO 8s, which is going to happen because there's still a difficulty level for the majority of the community. They can't get over because they don't have the red stars. They don't have those things on their roster. That's going to be the solution to beating DD3 and all that stuff. So more importantly, they've said something, and I kind of was like, all right, ready? Here, RemanX wild speculation. And this is here it is. Think about it. We're getting a mirror match arena team where basically it comes down to a coin toss on who goes first. Think about it. Whoever Stanos goes first potentially wins that fight. Yeah. All right.
Oh, don't tell me they're going to start putting speed in these shit.
Stop. So they're not putting speed in it. However, first thing I anticipate is when we see Ebony Moth's kit, it's going to require T4s. So save your T4s for Ebony Moth. It's going to require T4s to make sure you get the best speed modification from him. Number one, we know that's going to be a factor. Guaranteed. If you don't have T4s in them, you're going to lose your arena matches. Number one. Number two, you are going to see things that change speed without having a speed modification on them. Like they said, you're going to have abilities on them. They're going to change some abilities, like give you a new passive or give you a new ability. They said that with the ISO 8 rework notifications. So I am anticipating things like on spawn, gain 50% speed bar on spawn, because that is the only way that these teams, when facing off, will get an edge, except for the coin toss. And by the way, we really want to invest in a team that's only going to win on a coin toss, because I guarantee you, most of those times we're going to lose, because we know how the AI works.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, that's, I mean, the biggest reason that I quit playing, one of the biggest reasons I quit playing Star Wars Galaxy Heroes and even Summoner's War or even Raid Shadow Legends is because of the fact that the game's turned into this big, like, speed trumps all. Like, there's no real strategy. It's all about, like, fine-tuning your team to make sure that you go first so that you can pop off, blast everybody, and then it's cakewalk from there forward. So I'm really hoping that's not the case, because that's going to pretty much effectively destroy real-time PvP, in my opinion.
So this harkens back to me when we had the Brotherhood teams, right? So the Brotherhood teams, that are, depending on when you got to Brotherhood team, and if you acquired them early enough, there was Brotherhood versus Brotherhood, and you had to basically perform certain actions. But if you put like a T4 into Juggernaut, he was speeding up when he was getting hit by a target, right? That was like, oh crap. That was my reason. I was like, oh no, they're gonna do it. So it's wild speculation at this point. Hopefully me saying it will make them think, they're on to us.
Well, you said it on our stream, so they definitely won't hear it.
Well, the thing is that I remember, so
yeah,
so they
say it on your stream.
I don't know. Okay, the only thing that I know about ISO 8, and this has been like 4, 5, 6 months since the last time that this discussion was had between Dismal and I, but he was in on the testing of it, right? Along with some, huh?
Yeah.
No, they didn't have an NDA. But anyway, they he's I felt bad for a second there. I was like, oh shit. But no. He anyway, one of the biggest complaints that the users that were under an NDA complained about was the fact that some of the teams were too fast. So ultimately, Foxnext said that they weren't going to let speed be an affected stat. And I remember, like, that was the last things I heard them say about ISO 8. Like, since then, I have not heard them say anything about it. And that's been, like, my personal biggest, like, nightmare, is them putting some kind of speed affecting attribute in the game. Because I believe it was supposed to be, like, it gives them unique abilities, or it awakens a unique ability for them.
Unique ability. So that's what I'm thinking is, so let's say that's the random stat that you roll on each one of these things, and it's like a unique ability, like you have to get like 15% speed bar on spawn.
Yeah.
That's not speed. That's not a speed stat like. So that's not going to affect the turn order. That's just going to affect the turn order.
Okay. I was like, what?
You know what I'm saying? Technically not speed, but it could be.
You're right.
See, like, in my opinion, giving somebody an ability would be like, let's say somebody like an enemy uses disrupt on you, and it nullifies the effects of disrupt. Like, that to me is something that could be game changing, but doesn't necessarily break the game. You know what I mean?
How do you know if so the only thing about that is, if you don't know your opponent has it until you challenge them, that can be bad, because then it takes away.
100%.
It takes away the strategy. So there's been a couple of things, like, I think the API is like one of the most important things they need to bring to this game, so that we can get, there's a lot more resources and tools that we should have as a community that we don't have, because of the fact there's no API in this game.
Right. I mean, that would change.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of people are upset about that for many reasons.
Yeah. Well,
you
did like real-time blitz tier challenges. See who's moving around and
right, exactly. Or even just auto sim, which would be great, because that'll just solve a lot of problems in and of itself. But we've heard that they're play testing that, but we'll see if that comes to fruition. Maybe with the next update, which probably would be, I don't know, next month, maybe in a week.
So we do know that the war changes are coming.
That happens next week. Tomorrow. Yes. No.
So tomorrow's the end of the war season, then the official war changes.
Technically today, right? At 3.
So I saw a question pop up in the chat, and we could just go ahead and answer this now.
Let's answer all now.
What are your guys?
Let's break the rules, man. It's nothing matters. I'm just kidding. Please go.
Quarantine life. Who does this?
Please do it. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. You're so handsome. No. Your screen back.
No, I'm just kidding. No. How do you guys feel like the changes that they're making are going to actually like affect or like defer people away from wanting to do the shelling thing?
Not at all.
No, it doesn't change it at all.
It doesn't feel like the changes they've announced are actually going to affect it.
No.
That's easy.
Bashed
I don't
on me.
care.
I don't.
I don't-
Honestly,
I don't care.
No.
Do people shell up at your level of gameplay? There's no way they could,
probably
right?
do. I mean, we've definitely run into some shells, but like, I mean, we're facing like, we're going up against like Panther Hulk, Baby Yoda, Wakanda Black, a bunch of like big tier teams. So
Have I fought you?
say again.
Have I fought you?
Which who are you in? What
Baby
you're in
Yoda.
Baby Yoda? Maybe. I don't know if it was this
We just.
because I'm in Wolverthor's Alliance, so we're in Grumpy Old Mutants. So
I don't think.
maybe
I
it's when I was in Mad Titans, I probably fought you, most likely. So, but because we definitely had one where we faced Fate's Fury and then Baby Yoda for sure. Definitely fought against us for when I was in OG Alpha Flight. Absolutely, that happened a few times. But yeah, I don't know. Shelling does happen. I don't really see it too much in our time frame because we're in the, I think, zone 2, I think it is, where it starts at 3 a.m. on Eastern, essentially for me.
Got
So I wake up and our armory's already gone, so that's always fun. But yeah,
Weird.
I've never ever seen a shelling alliance. Like
I've never seen it either.
not
And
once
like,
seen one.
the problem
I've
exists. I get
seen
it, but
two.
I don't give a shit.
It happened a long time ago, and it was in the game for a while where people were taking advantage of that. So the idea is I've seen a shell and I've also seen an empty alliance. So it kind of balances out in your time zone where you guys can actually do that. The idea though is it's letting them get better season rewards. So the T4s, again, being in the different, the winning, it's not changing the fact that these shells are still going to win more fights because of the way the matchmaking is. They have to change the matchmaking. They talked about that because of the way the rewards are going to work based on your overall collection power. So maybe they understand what ELO is, but they probably don't understand what ELO is.
they probably
No.
they probably
They have
don't
no
recognize that's what it's called or how that is implemented. They probably recognize that there's an instance of something that is regarded to that, but it could be just like it's probably something along the lines where we say in the film industry, it's just like we have accountants doing line producing for the film industry who don't understand the film industry. So people are like, it's just a numbers thing. It could just be, something along the lines where people are just like, they're just doing this, don't realizing that's the terminology for it because they don't see it all the time.
Get yourself a good accountant, by the way.
There's always going to be a way to manipulate the system, though. That's the problem.
Always.
There's always going to be a way to
Always.
manipulate a system like this. The problem is they need to address the folks that are doing it instead of just addressing the rewards per se. Now, if the rewards were so if you look at if you clicked on Alliance War right now and you looked at the season rewards, the problem you have, and the same thing with a raid season, is just the way that the rewards are distributed. It's that the same curve that they have on everything they do is that the top number one gets way more than number 10, gets way more than number 1,000, gets way more than the rest. And that's the problem, is the way the rewards are done in the curve, because there'd be no motivation if the curve was not so
flatten the curve.
Flatten the curve.
I kind of had a small idea on how to kind of prevent the shelling, and you guys can tell me if this is stupid or not. But I thought that maybe there's a way they could implement some kind of system where when a player leaves an alliance, they begin to have a diminishing return on how long it is before they can receive rewards for joining another alliance. So let's say they leave one and then they I think they join another one. It's they have to wait a 24-hour period.
Yeah.
Now, if they leave that alliance within 30 days or 60 days or ever how long they want to say it, then the next time they join, they have to wait 3 days to receive rewards. And then it's 7 days and then 21 days. Something on those lines, so that it kind of turns down someone's interest from switching alliances so frequently. Or is that not how shelling works?
That's not how shelling works. So the thing about it is the shell works this way, right? So right now, we've been for quite some time, we've been at our cap for Stark Tech at the higher levels of alliances, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of folks are at their cap, and that's the people that are taking advantage of this, are people who aren't concerned about Stark Tech, or they're at their cap. So what they do is they start a new alliance with a bunch of high CP members, and then they go in, and then they will actually be able to matchmake at the lowest level of tier. So suddenly even though their CP's high, they're not matchmaking in their time slot with folks with that they should be with the winning records and whatnot.
So then is the matchmaking system not even taking total collection power into consideration?
It is, but then again, it isn't. It's taking overall win ratio. So the way that they have it, the system that they have is not, there's no individual ranking system. which is the problem, right? So if there was an individual ranking system, let's say I, RemanX, had like a 102-2 record, and then I join an alliance, it's an empty shell. All right, it should probably take like an individual, but that's a lot harder to manage, right? So, but that's the problem, right? So if they join an empty shell, there's nothing other than their combat power to take it. There's no record. So it's not going to match people with a record. And it takes a long time before they start matching with folks that are anywhere near their combat level, their overall power. So it's a factor of that. It's a factor system. It's how they weighed combat power and how they weighed the record. They definitely have it wrong.
That actually makes a lot of sense to me now, because I've been looking at the Contest Champions Alliance War thing, and the way that they do their rankings is based off of prestige, and prestige is the average of your top 5 champions on your account. So there's no way, if like you're a badass dude, there's no way in God's green earth you could actually like go down to a complete newbie alliance and then just clap people that have like 2-star champions, like, because it's automatically going to take into consideration that you have top tier champions on your account. So no matter where you go, it's going to put that into the mix. So that's anyways.
Yeah. When I took a little break, I joined an alliance where the average TCP was like 3 million, and just imagine having me show up in like the armory.
Yeah. Just be like, well, so I can't do anything here. That's great.
Well, I mean, and that's the point. That's why an individual factor would have to. So that's where it's the overall ELO rating would be there. So.
Okay, I didn't understand that. I mean, no, that definitely wouldn't work. I guess I didn't understand what shelling is because I'm not myself.
What are you saying? So. No, I understand it because we fought against folks. So, for instance, let's say we'll give you an impact, right? So let's say the number 3, and this happened one season very specifically. There was a number 3 alliance, and no matter what we did, we couldn't match. We chased them. We were in their time zone. We couldn't matchmake against them. So we were always taking one loss from either like this is back when we were straight out of Sakar. So we were fighting Cabal and Panzer Hulk. So we had to take our wins where we could get them, and we were chasing these guys, trying to get them a loss, and we never matchmake them in the time zone. And they were within 1 million overall power of us, and we're like, all right, I know what's going on here. So then, Chewburger figured it out. They did it for a season. They're like, dude, this is a problem. Look at what's happening, guys. Fix this. And they went and they've now addressing that 9 months later. They had a baby in that time period.
So what exactly damn. What exactly is their what are they adding now with war?
So they're changing the way so the war structure now is basically they're moving the T4s from your season rewards and adding it to your victory and loss rewards. So it
okay. So it's not necessarily like it doesn't matter how hard you climb on the ladder of it. It's just the wins you get.
Yeah. So right now,
makes it worse.
So
it doesn't. It sounds like it makes it worse.
I know.
Right.
There's 5 things they're addressing all at once. The first thing they're addressing is the fact that Legion of Cabal, Panzer Hulk, and anybody in the top 5, they have so much more power than the rest of the people that they could lose a war and still wind up in the top 5 or 10, right?
Yeah.
Because it was based off your own TCP. So your actual win number was based off of your own TCP. So if you won a war against, let's say it was somebody like, who's like a number 100 alliance and you're number 1. Well, you get all those points for everybody in your alliance, regardless of how the challenge level is there. So now it's supposed to reward it more toward the challenge level. We'll have to see if they got that right. That's something we won't know until after we get it right. So they haven't released the reward structure yet. So a lot of this is wild speculation.
We'll know in about 6 hours or so what they're doing with it.
But what they said was they're moving the T4s away from the actual season reward. So that's going to be clear that it's going to be in your win-loss, and they're adjusting the win-loss percentages so it's not as frustrating if you matchmake in this time period against somebody who's like number 1 and you're number like 25, and you have no chance in hell of beating those folks. And more importantly, they're not going to get as many points from you beating you because their challenge level wasn't there. So what's going to happen is ideally it's going to be, ideally what's going to happen, and this is going to be chaos, is people are going to start chasing people. It's going to go back to those days where people are changing time zones to fight somebody to be number 1.
Yeah.
But if the T4 aren't there, is it as impactful?
Right.
Depends on what those rewards actually wind up becoming. Stay tuned. We'll find out in a matter of hours.
Yeah, for
Literally,
sure.
yeah,
Well,
It actually sounds like there's not really. I mean, now that you just told me the way that it really works, like I can't think of like a actual way to prevent that from happening without like a complete overhaul of the entire.
It's actually
system.
called an ELO system, but it's in most
Yeah.
games, and they could have
Yeah,
done that from the
it
beginning.
is.
And so it's the
Yeah.
overall weighted percentages based on the actual quality of your opponent, and that's something
Yeah.
that should have been in there from the beginning. If they were going to create a structure where it's competitive challenges, they should have used already pre-existing information like that. So that
I mean, it's kind of too late to go back and implement that at this point, isn't it?
I would
no,
Mm,
because every season is a new season. So every season it's a new season. So all they can do is they can basically change the internal numbers. It's like what League of Legends does, going back even farther. Probably the early MOBAs like Dota and stuff like that use those ELO system early on.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. Then in 2 weeks, we'll see if it's worthwhile or not, or if it's just all for naught. So
we'll find out. And I think that they're already saying that we may not get it right the first pass. And I think I personally I'll give them a pass on that.
Yeah,
as long as they're making some attempt to fix
Sure.
it, because I don't know that it's an easy fix with the way that they have to do the math inside the system. So I think we'll bear with it. Hopefully, it doesn't become something that's broken for a long time.
yeah.
But I do expect it'll be better.
Yeah, it's just one guy going like, "Well, this is what we think it'll work. This is how it worked at our play testing and
Right.
internally." But then you realize that they do things in that's the problem with doing things internally in play testing is they don't have the wide variety and variables that go into having people all different TCP and whatnot. So or just play styles or people who are just interested in the game. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, Wax GR is talking about the guy with 12-7 red stars. He's actually one of the people's videos that I watched to create Seed Theory. His name is Running Accident.
Oh, that's a fun name. Anyway, so we're gonna move on to Love It and Hate It. It's where we talk about one thing we love about the game, one thing we hate about the game. We always talk about what we love and hate about the game, but we ask our guests what they love and hate about the game. So, Reman, what do you love about the game? And don't you dare say community.
I can't say community because that's actually why I'm still here.
Yeah.
Let's see. I absolutely love
Seed Theory.
No, I love the fact that I can see some of my favorite Marvel heroes in action. I'm a huge Marvel guy. I have been my first game I ever streamed was Marvel Heroes, so I am attached to the IP. I love just like seeing what their version of Ebony Maw is going to look like, and I kind of have like my take of what it should look like. But I kind of like looking at the kits and go, oh, that's close enough. I mean, I guess with 4 abilities, it's hard to really get what they do, but I kind of love that. Like Ghost Rider, really cool. I love the Supernatural team because it's for me that's like one of my favorite like genres in the comics. So and X-Men, so that's been like what I really love about the game is just the fact that it appeals to my inner kid.
Yeah,
it's the only reason I play this game. And Charlie.
Yeah.
Not Josh.
No, it's not the podcast. I mean, you told me to play the game. Yes, I do enjoy the podcast, but I'm saying like you told me to play the game. It wasn't I'm here to be with you. I don't give a shit about you guys. It's not just Josh. I don't give a shit about either of you.
Yeah. No, it's like I find it's kind of cool how they I will have to agree on that, Reman, that it's like they found a way to kind of make their characters' abilities and the how they perform in the game kind of revolve around how they are in the comics. From my limited comic knowledge, I know you and Dom probably can attest to this more, but it's interesting to see like they have characters who have abilities and passives and whatnot that would be not just for shits and giggles, but like this is actually how they would be in the comic, and that's what I think is the cool part. It's like you have that little bit of that takeaway of like stuff that you're reading about, like Jessica Jones has high resistance or whatever. So like that's kind of pulls from something in the comics.
My favorite thing about this shit is the fact that obviously it's a game and like some characters like you're building characters, right? But realistically, a lot of these characters, they met each other fighting. A lot of them would get smoked comparatively. Like it's funny. My Punisher killing a Captain Marvel or vice versa, or my Captain Marvel dying to someone's Punisher because it's like a 7 red star or whatever. But it's like, yo, come on, dude.
Well, have you?
Well, I mean, that's the thing, right? There's some of my favorite comics are like the old, like who faces off against who.
Yeah. Have you seen the like they do little things that like kind of throw back? I've seen the Ghost Rider doing his penance stare to Punisher. He just Punisher punches him in the face. Have you seen that?
Wait, what?
That animation? Yeah,
No.
because in the comics, somebody said it on Reddit at some point. I've only seen
I didn't
it
know this
happen once.
happens.
Yeah, so like because I think the only person who was able to survive the
I actually have not seen that. That's kind of interesting. I'll take a look.
Yeah, so it's like if you use the penance stare on from Ghost Rider on Punisher, apparently Punisher punches him in the face because he's the
Also
only person
Carnage
who can,
too. Carnage has survived.
Yeah, so
That's
maybe I haven't tried it on
hilarious.
Carnage, but apparently that's a thing. So,
Well, no, not in the game, but I mean in comics. It's crazy
Yeah.
that's an addition. That's hilarious.
It's just
I have
Me neither.
never
I
seen
need to
any of
see
this
it.
before, so I'm gonna have to pay
Well, that's
attention
what
to
I
it.
liked about the 2 weeks ago when they had the developer on that was talking about how they read the comic books, got to get an idea. Like it's clear that they have some attachment to the stories.
Yeah, totally.
And they're trying to weave that in there. And I think sometimes the vehicle of which it's being delivered is the problem. It's not the actual
Right.
story itself.
Yeah.
Because I mean, have you guys beat Nexus? You guys all know the cool thing that happened in Nexus,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You guys know. So you guys all know. Is it a spoiler?
Oh yeah,
Right.
that's also the thing that happened too. Nexus 8 got released, and I feel like we didn't talk
Oh, yeah,
about
we
it
didn't talk
because
about
like
it.
we all finished it in
why?
about 3 seconds.
We brought it back.
Yeah.
But the end of the story was what? What happened?
They had Doom doing something in the multiverse.
I'm
And
curious.
it's-
So bottom line is a new. So they beat Ultimus. So Ultimus is gone, and the new enemy has emerged, and his name is Doom.
Yeah.
We'll have to see
And
how
then-
they play out.
I'm very
And then
curious.
Sinister fucks off and like takes over or something. I think he takes over the dimension device, right, or something like that. Is what it was. If I remember.
Sinister works.
So it's going to be.
So we'll have to see if they so there might be the DD4 hint that we've been looking for. Wild speculation brought to you by RemanX. Or maybe Doom will be the DD4 enemy.
I mean, it should be. That'd be kind of rad, I mean, it makes sense because that it ties in with what we were just talking about with story and how they're playing things out. So I think I don't know, it's wild. Like I actually went through and read the storyline. I totally forgot about it. I think I took a screenshot to post that, just seeing having that conversation with within Grumpy Old Mutants. But yeah, it's cool. It's rad.
Yeah. Perfect.
So what's one thing you hate about the game?
One.
Just one. Just one thing.
That we haven't talked about already. No, I'm just kidding.
It's a little bit of a personal thing, and I'm going to say this, and I want to step on toes. How am I going to phrase this? So my biggest problem with the game is that
I can't wait. I feel like this might be-
if I can't. So I talked about it last time. I couldn't recommend it to my friends, right? So I talked about it. So I actually have a friend who I found was already playing the game, and he's like, he's like, I don't know what to do. And so I feel like the new player experience is so bad for this game. Like
Very
I feel
bad.
like it's hard to say like what is the catch-up mechanic for this game. So I hate the fact that that there's so much, I don't want to say old information, not bad information. There's so much old information out there that people are gravitating towards that I am probably going to have to start to like try to help people kind of figure out how to survive this game if you're starting to play this game. Because do you guys know like the first 30 days, like you don't get thrown into like you get like your own like new player blitz structure, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the first 30 days, you're like, oh, this is great. I can be, and then 31st day, you're like, what the hell is this?
Right, yeah.
Do you know where they ripped stuff from?
Well,
Contest
I mean,
champions.
you do know that these guys were contest.
I know. It's funny to me how many things I see that they just straight up like rip from them. And
Well, that was the problem in Contest of Champions.
it kind of
That was
doesn't work.
a problem in
though.
Contest of Champions. There really wasn't a catch-up mechanic until later on.
Yeah, no, and actually, a lot of the like, if you just, I watched an interview with the devs recently, and that's one of the things that they're actively working on very hard right now is improving the beginners players experience, and they keep actively like upgrading and up. It wasn't just one change that they did. Like they have
Right.
like as part of their team that is dedicated to improving the beginner player experience, and that's something that I think. Was it Casino that I said that was probably something that needs to be worked on? It was one of the previous podcasts. I was like, I couldn't even imagine what it's like.
Yeah,
to
we
be a
had
new
talked
player
about
in
it.
this
I was
game
like,
right now.
I can't recommend this game to my friends.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. It's like if they want to, because if you're going to play with your friends, they're going to want to play with you.
Yep.
So not like we can play in our own alliance because they're like, how do I play? What do I do?
Yeah.
Yeah, What's this
Right.
Alliance War thing?
Yeah.
I only have
And that's
one
because
team to put in
that's
here.
because they've doubled down, and maybe they're going to triple down on RNG for everything. Like putting a marquee character as a premium only release, man. Oh man, that like for me, like if I'm telling somebody new, like here's a character you should invest in, Minerva, check, even Yo-Yo, probably not somebody I'd say endgame, is more of an endgame character, but DD1 into DD2, Minerva is game changing.
Yeah.
And
100%.
the only way to get her is through that. And by the way, we kind of hit on this, and I kind of skipped to it because I want to cover it at the end. Was the difference between Minerva and Yo-Yo was Minerva had her own event. She had her own release event.
Mm-hmm.
So she was an event unit. So you had 14 days to collect shards of her, and then she was featured in a lot of orbs since then. And then they throw Yo-Yo in orbs just because she is one of the most utilized characters from their metrics that they say, and it's going to net them the most financial gain.
Mm.
And Minerva never had a
No,
blitz.
never
just the event campaign. Yeah,
I don't think she did.
So
Yeah.
if you're a new player, you don't have access to those old events that allowed many of us in the community to access these characters at a reasonable rate.
Yeah, but even still, like I'm looking at my alt account right now, which is like level 47, not great. But they did things where, like, do you know that Crossbones and Elektra are legendary characters now for new accounts?
Well, when you started, they were. When you started the game, Crossbones and Elect, they had a legendary campaign where you can get them. So there's still the old, because those were two broken characters at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Before
everything changed.
before Gear 9, it was Elektra would bleed somebody out. She was so amazing, and then Crossbones explosion would kill everything.
Right.
He was one of my first 7 stars. I think
He was OP at the time, but now look how far we've come.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem. Like, right? So some people are saying, well, there's these guides out there, all these things, and that's great. But I mean, a lot of the stuff that they have is old stuff that's now 2 years old.
Yeah,
and so it's outdated. So if they're a new player, the content creators, it isn't like we have new content creators coming out and making content. There's Tony, there's Tona, and those are two guys that I'll throw a little. They're making some good new player stuff because they actually created new player accounts and new accounts recently. But that's part of the problem. But the problem is if there's not the direction in game. So there should, because think about this, and we figured this out with the fixed MSF movement, is the number of players that are on Reddit, on YouTube, on Twitch, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That represents a very small smattering of the player base.
Yeah.
Some of these players don't even look at that. So if there's not some type of guide in game for those players, something that is clearly leading them down a path towards progression,
right,
then they're gonna fail out of the system.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like, we look at people on the Facebook groups, there's thousands of people in the Facebook groups talking about things who've never even, like, people will say, like, how come we didn't hear about this? Why aren't we getting stuff in mail? And then they're like realizing there's only things that have been posted to Discord or to Reddit that haven't been posted in game, that sort of stuff. Although they started doing that now. I don't know if you've noticed that. All the stuff they're posting to Reddit, all that stuff is, a couple of days later, they'll post to in-game mail, which is great because it's like for people who don't go to those, they just play the game online. It's a good thing for them to at least be notified of things happening.
For sure.
So, but with all of that, it's just, it's crazy what's going on.
Can I backtrack for a second? We were talking about Reddit and the Facebook community. It's like Reddit is toxic shitholes and Facebook is like the hopeful baddies. Like, it's like I don't mean to like seem rude or anything like that, but it's like, dude, I see the most noob people on there and they're so like happy about everything.
Again,
it's like, dude, there's like there's not that many people
because
that
there's
are
an
like
actual face and name attached to someone posting on Facebook.
Oh, I didn't even think about that, dude. Yeah, you're right. I think you might be right. Yeah.
There's a face and name attached to your Facebook,
Yeah, but there's a whole different movement on Facebook. If you've been on any Facebook groups, it's called the Release Emma Frost movement.
Oh, really?
Really?
Oh,
you see that there's like so basically there's a few people that are like Release Emma Frost, and they got her in various states of it.
That's hilarious.
Dress. So yeah.
No, amazing.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. But the Facebook group is actually just like very much more positive, and I mean, of course, there's always going to be the Debbie Downers and the guys that are like.
By the way, guys, did you guys ever
But,
find that guy's video that was challenging Fates for the PvP?
I did see that. Yeah, that was hilarious.
Oh God, no! What is this? Almost challenging.
No, what is this?
I can't find the video anymore. But
yeah, I saw it. It was just like some guys usually like it's like you versus me 1-on-1. We'll take it. Person who wins, gets control of your alliance. Person who loses uninstalls the game. Just like, come on.
I'm a big fan of the movie at theater announcer voice you just did for that.
Yeah,
that was great.
That was good. We'll move on real quick, but one thing I wanted to mention when you're talking about like the catch-up mechanics. So the only game that I've found that I've played in the past, which has a fantastic catch-up mechanic, just because they throw stuff at you for a new player, has been Future Fight. So to me,
that's an example of a Marvel IP that does that.
Yeah, so like for that's exactly what I wanted to bring that up, just because of like seeing like I log in every now and then. So like not only do they give catch-up mechanics for new players, like if you haven't logged in for 30 days or 60 days or however many days, they say, hey, you haven't logged in an X amount of days. Here's what's new. Here's the things have changed. Here's what you should be working towards. Here's a bunch of stuff to help get you there. I just threw my pen. And here's a bunch of stuff to help get you there. Here's a free, because they have like red stars, but they call it like 6-star, whatever they call it. It's like, here's a free character to promote all the way up to the highest level as whatever you want. Granted, they have like 200 characters that they can choose from, but still, it's like, personally, I think that's a great way to promote people to come back and play your game, because they want you to come back and play. So that's actually why I'm excited for, one of the reasons why I'm excited for Future Revolution is for,
that company had it right.
Just because, Netmarble is the one. I know there's been a lot of like, people are like, well, Netmarble's trash and blah, blah, blah. And, they don't take care of their player base. Because I've read up a lot of Future Fight just to see what people are thinking about Netmarble. And really it comes down to their, in terms of a mobile dev company for a mobile game, it's just, they're probably one of the, the worst case, not worst case scenarios. What's the word? She's the better companies of best
of the worst.
Yes.
The lesser of two evils.
The lesser of two evils. Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking of. Yes.
Lesser of two evils.
The lesser of 9 evils or whatever it is. But anyway.
So, the bottom line is, so just I because I'm attached to those games, I tried all those other games out. MCOC, same problem you had. It just wasn't, the barrier of entry was just too high for me to want to play it. I found it a year too late. Future Fight, similar scenario. I played Netmarble games. They kind of also double down on RNG and
they do.
They also, so that's just that's a drawback for a lot. And we talk about it like that being an ill of the mobile games. But I have to say, the most entertaining thing I figured out from this podcast is Charlie, when he gets excited, he talks with his hands and he does jazz hands. Which I think is one of the most amazing things that I've seen on stream. So
that's pretty funny.
I do get excited every now and then. So, but anyway, that's what
I'm asking. That's the first time I ever seen.
I was just like,
he does the jazz hands. Which is great.
I'll take it. If you missed it, you can watch the replay about an hour 17 in. There you go. That's how it works. So what'd you guys pull for Red Stars? Raymond, I bet you're excited. So to talk about your seed theory and what you pulled, because you just posted that, and we'll post a link for that. So if you want to see what seed theory is all about, when Redmond was on last time, he talked about it, but he actually did a video showcasing how it works and what you should do for it. So we'll post that in the link below if you want to take a look at that. We're also, I think if you go to our Discord, I think I pinned it to the content creators channel in our Discord. So if you want to go take a look at it there, you can go look at it there. So.
Perfect. So basically for me, I was able to pull a 6 red star, Mr. Fantastic. Got my 4-star Corvus Glaive. Again, it's not foolproof, and you guys can see I didn't do seed theory because, again, we unlocked the Marvel Strike Force for MSF. We unlocked me opening a 6 red star elite, and it went exactly how we thought it would. So there's a couple of memes out there. You can probably share those if you guys want to hear Kirby red stars. Thank you again, Ghost of Owen Hart, for that, because that is hysterical. And so I pulled a dupe 6 red elite minion from my 6 red.
Oh, that was a dupe.
That is the 4th dupe I pulled from those orbs.
Okay.
So they've been a dupe every time.
I didn't realize it was a dupe. I thought that's just what you got, and I was thinking that's actually not.
Now they've been reworked, but I mean, you'll see it. It's on there. It's
the Hydra armor guard with no armor on his character.
Yeah.
Anyway, Kryno, what'd you pull for Red Stars?
He only has 8 revives. What did I get? I got my 5th fifth elite 4-star Black Panther.
Yeah,
that was
I
pretty
remember
cool.
seeing that and highlighting that in the highlight video.
Yeah. Yeah, that guy's a bitch. And then I got 5. Oh no, this was good. I got 5-star Mr. Sinister, and I got a God. What was the other thing I got? Even though I won't get to see the stars on him anytime soon. Crap, I can't remember who the other one I got is. I got
I did pull a
5-star.
6 red star yo-yo too that earlier on in the week.
Yeah, well, good luck with your 2%.
What the heck?
2.2%. Luck.
It was on the MSF for MSF thing.
Come
What
back,
did I
Dom.
pull? Okay, go on to action.
4-star Black Bolt. 4 red star Black Bolt. So that's nice.
Oh, I got a 4 red star Proxima.
Awesome. I pulled a 4 red star Corvus Glaive. I'm now holding on to my orbs for Cull Obsidian at this point, which I have 3 at the moment. So hopefully that'll happen.
Yeah,
and then
6.
I'm currently on the, I promoted Black Bolt to 5 red stars. And now I'm waiting for him to show up to promote him to 6 red stars.
Whopper says War Machine doofus.
Oh yeah, that's right. I did. I got 5-star War Machine.
Read that there because I know Calic has got you.
I'm sitting here like looking through my roster.
Hey,
like
big shout out to Whopper. Helped me out through the night on stream. Came into
marijuana.
Came into the voice channel and gave me some help. Big old ding dong, but appreciate you regardless. You're a big old ding dong. Not that you have. I mean, you might. I don't know.
Whoa!
You're a dingus.
Whoa!
He might have a
dingus
big
is
old
what-
ding dong. I don't know.
Wow!
Anyway, what do you have for us for a war or team advice, Reman?
Let's see. If you guys haven't heard about them, there's a team called the Symbiotes, and while they are missing 2 members, they are insanely powerful. They are probably the showcase pieces for your city team as you take them through Dark Dimension 3. Begin working them up. I do anticipate that there will be 2 other members, and wild speculation.
I'm so curious. They could add. There's a million characters that have had.
Well, Anti-Venom solves one of their
Anti-Venom-
problems.
Is that a leak or is that?
If they were going to do one, Anti-Venom heals and would remove like debuffs.
That would be dope.
So that would be one that I could like solve one of their problems right away.
You could have
And then
Agent.
there's quite a few others that we talked about.
I mean, shit. Yeah, there's like a million Carnage variations. There's Agent Venom. There was Venomverse, and that was every single character at one point had a Venom symbiote.
Yeah. So if you build up just those 3, you will not regret it.
Yeah,
true.
I'm building up them currently because my Carnage is 6 red stars and my
Your Carnage
Spider-Man
slaps, dude.
Yeah,
so if I recommend something is make sure you save BioGear and buy.
So much bio.
Buy Alien. Whatever those Alien Spores.
Yeah, I'm almost at the point of,
Oh, good.
yeah, I'm almost at the point of having all of my Alien Spores good to go for Venom and Carnage for tier 14. So that's it's getting there. It's a lot. It's something like, I don't know, like 100 and 118, something like that. It's a lot for all 3 characters because it's 36 per character. So it's fun.
Get those advanced
side question.
phosphates.
Reman, did you just read the latest Carnage event, Absolute Carnage, by any chance?
I haven't read it because I try to read it when it's completed. Otherwise, so I ignore all this type of stuff.
It may have literally just finished. Fun fact.
I think it's actually on the. I think there's like 2 more. I think maybe I'm wrong because I haven't been keeping up with it. So when I read comics or I go through that type of stuff, I wait for them to be complete. Otherwise, it's like
the anxiety. Yeah, I feel you. I tried because I have Marvel Unlimited, which gives me at 6 months.
I do
too. I get everything up until the last 6 months, and that's like the only frustrating thing because I think it may have just finished. It's finally on there, but man, this new Carnage event was wild. Absolutely
What
wild.
is it called? I want to look it up.
Absolute Carnage, very fun.
Yeah. So yeah, that's one of the things is that's actually kind of like, so when we're talking about symbiotes, first it was why I'm saying that they probably will be out soon is first it was a feature in the comics. And second is they released a title for Venom 2.
Oh, the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was something that happened recently. So I have a feeling that one thing that's got us kind of suck for Marvel Strike Force right now is the fact that they've used for their releases and probably from Disney's recommendations, they've used the MCU release schedule to kind of like determine what's going to come out and when things are going to happen. So with all this, with the virus, obviously they probably don't know what's going to happen with what they're going to be give it
Right,
a pushes.
for sure.
Yeah, because next up is the Black Widow movie that's supposedly coming out in 2 weeks. But do they push that movie? I don't remember.
Push that movie, yeah, the movie's pushed.
Yeah, so
yeah,
I wouldn't
they
be
had to push
surprised. If
back. I think it's pushed back to August,
everything
maybe?
got moved up. So everything so Eternals, all that stuff got moved up, and then Disney just had to do the hokey pokey and turn themselves around because of Sony's reluctance to change some stuff on the schedule. So yeah, there was
I'm
just
not surprised. I've worked for Sony. I'm not surprised.
They're just difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, they're fun. So anyway, do you have a favorite character in the game right now, Reman?
I think the last time we talked about him is Mr. Sinister because his name is also Nate, but I also like Cable. So if your name is some derivative of Nate, they are my favorite characters.
All right.
So Nathaniel Essex and
I would love a true X-Force team. There's so many good options.
Rumored to come.
That's the funny thing about this game is it's literally an unlimited roster you could potentially have. This could be X-Men Strike Force and it would be still an unlimited roster, right?
Yeah.
Like
so there's
so many people.
There's like so many good like things in the game. But I mean for me, Cable is one of those things that people sleep on because he actually does change the speed of teams when he's on. So he changes that impact. So
I remember that was a while ago. We had Casino on and he mentioned this was early Sinister Six, leaving Green Goblin on Spider-Verse and putting Cable there instead. And he would just actually make Sinister Six an interesting team.
Spider-Verse. So the actual like the Carnage. So what he did was he sped up Carnage and Venom so that you weren't stuck behind taunts when you wanted to burn a unit down. You can spread the debuffs.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. He was talking about Sinister Six. But that's also interesting too.
Yep. So that was
now he's good also for Marauders too to help bring everything.
Marauders. Yeah.
So that's.
Dude, what is a good team to fight the Marauders? Hook a brother up. That's not
so
something
want
that
the big release. So there's three.
Something else.
So there's a lot of different teams that fight the Marauders. And by the way, a couple of the hybrid teams are usually beatable by the thing that beats the hybrid that they bring along. So Marauders are typically beatable by the unit that the things that counter the unit that they bring to the fight. So let's say they brought Maraudertron, right? Because there's a fourth member on there. Especially with Kingpin, you can use power armor, although it's less reliable since the Ironheart rework changed
debacle.
Yeah, these things they changed the way that there's a big issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's have a character that's coming out and then not coming out, and then we change the whole team around it, and then it wins less. Let's change those ability mats. Not that I'm sour at all. So basically, if the team beats the addition of the team, it's a good idea that it beats it. I will tell you right now that if you can. The best team to beat it with, depending on what you're using them on, is probably X-Men. It just means you don't use Phoenix's special turn 1. The problem is if he clones Phoenix, you have a much harder fight. Supernatural can beat them, but the problem is you're going to find that like they bring. So the hardest version of Marauders is Maratron. Ass pants a hole.
Yeah, I definitely haven't seen that one yet because the one that I see in every war, that at least at my level of play, is Sabretooth, Mystique, Strife, what's his face?
It'll either be Cable, it usually Hand Sentry,
Merc Raggard.
So it's usually somebody that Kingpin's more popular because you get the villain assist. So there's different like popular version of the team. So Power Armor does it if they have buffs, and more importantly, if it's boosted and it's in a room with defense up, Power Armor is going to smoke them because they get some of their own stuff. So, and then the problem you have is a lot of people have been using their red stars on Sinister. I mean, it's like somebody gave them advice to use that. Some crazy guy. So they have 6 red star G14 Sinisters, and that changes the impact. So if you're having trouble, that's why. So you're going to have to kind of punch across or punch down.
Right.
We've run into, I think the last 3 awards we've run into, I think 3 or 4 6 red star Sinisters. I'm actually thinking about putting 6 red stars on the Sinister for that very reason, because I have him at G14 already, and he's just it's impossible to do enough damage to him because then he just heals pretty much to full. It's just like And then everyone else is, because you want to focus him, but then everyone else is beating on you. And by the time he heals, like your team's half dead and they're all at full health. And you're like, well, this sucks.
And that's the problem, is you got to account for that G14. So you're going to have to use your bigger teams on them. And so that's why X-Men's like the most popular, but there's still that 20% chance of ruin. All right. And that's the thing about war defenses. A lot of them introduce that, where if he clones Phoenix 1 of 5, there's that 20% chance that you're going to lose that fight.
Yeah. So, if that's the case, I know that you have a pretty good Brotherhood team, Crondo. So I would save your Brotherhood teams for Nick Fury Coulson teams, because that team can beat it pretty well. So you just have to focus fire. You just use Magneto special on Coulson turn 1, and then you're good to go.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been doing that. After you
great.
told me about that, I've been doing that. It's just I keep like. I've been clapping Coulson teams, and I don't know, like I just the defender team is the
Marauder.
one that I'm sorry, not defender. The Marauder team's the one that I've been coming across lately that I just like haven't really played against it at all, and I've been kind of like timid in maybe like my team lineup I don't really have a team that kind of like trumps it, so to say, like I do for most other teams that I kind of wait for. But like I mean, obviously, like I see Asgardians, like okay, I have teams I know I want to use. If I see Punfenders, I know what I want to use, and so forth. It's just that Marauder team is the one that I kind of has like been like, maybe I'll just like put somebody else.
If they're just the raw Marauders with like a random 5th. Some of the ones that are more challenging with the random 5th are ones with Minerva and ones with Ultron. Those are going to
I haven't seen that. I have not. I have yet to see either one of those variations. But if I do, I'll be sure to defer that to someone else.
I want to talk about a team that we saw yesterday, which was unreal. Like it was one of the hardest teams to fight, like that I've ever run into. And it took 8 attacks from high level people.
35K Captain Marvel.
Yes. Yeah, you were there for that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's right.
For those who were not there,
you were there for that.
For those who are not there, essentially what it is, I'm pulling it up right now. I'll put it actually in the window for you to see. This team right here is ridiculous. So it's tier 14 Minerva, tier 14 Captain Marvel, Black Widow, Captain America, and Ultron. That team took 8 people, 8 attacks of like high level characters. We could not do enough damage to Captain Marvel. Nothing would stick to him. Same with Minerva. High level Minerva, tier 14 Minerva is almost impossible to ability block, to heal block, to anything to her. Her resistance is through the roof. So I'm actually going to pivot a little bit once symbiotes are done and work on Captain Marvel a little bit, since I'll have all the bio gear saved up.
Shit.
She popped up in my store this morning for 5 stars.
I'm 100% going for that.
Dang.
That's insane.
Like
I can't wait to.
I don't have enough yet. I mean,
G14er. I have her at 6 red stars, and she hits like a tank now. Let alone.
Oh yeah, I would highly
her.
recommend. I'm gonna go for Captain Marvel, and I think Sinister would be my next two right now.
Watching DD3, she is going to do a lot of work on. So when we talked about, I think I don't know if you guys knew, I had kind of like my top 3 units that are like for benefit from the 6 red star when that calendar came out, and Sinister, Captain Marvel, and for different reasons, right? And then Black Bolt. So Black Bolt was number 1 because that'll benefit you in all game modes. Sinister was like number 2 because when you have that high red stars, the clones that he does helps out a lot. Although it had less of an impact than we thought on DD3. But Captain Marvel is like a war goddess because she does everything that a 5-man team can't counter. And then when you go back in there, she's refreshed. Especially with Captain America feeding. Right, I've been using the Captain America Widow combo for the speed up. It's just insane.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's ridiculous. Like it's almost made me want to like since we just won our war yesterday, I'm going to go back in and rethink that combo. Yeah, we won that war.
You guys won that war?
We full cleared them before they full cleared us. So
nice.
Yeah,
I'm very surprised.
They only had.
That. Not that you guys are bad or anything. It was just I was like with the way things were looking when on your stream.
Yeah,
it was like
it was crazy. Well, they only that team
they
had like those 3 rooms. Like I think it was like Armory, Barracks, and Medbay were the top 3 that they had with all their top players in there. So once we got past that, it was easy pickings. So, but still, it was It was brutal, man. We were talking like we were in like Wolverthor was in chat. We were talking about it while I was streaming yesterday, just to try to get through those rooms, man. It was brutal. I've never experienced anything like that before, and it was just like it was unreal. Like nothing I did worked, like nothing. And eventually, I ended up I threw like all I threw Supernatural at it. I threw Brotherhood 2.0 at it. I threw a bunch of stuff at it. Even had rooms where I had there's one Captain Marvel that's 150k, 7 red star, tier 14, like all abilities maxed out. Couldn't do any damage. Like I think Pyro at 5 red stars, level 72, was doing 10 damage to her. It was insane. So I ended up having to bring in Spider-Verse. Yeah, I just had to bring up Spider-Verse to take her down with the buff flips and heal blocks and all that sort of stuff. Like I could not get Captain Marvel down past 50% for the heal block. And the one time I did, got resisted. So
are you saying Spider-Verse was good against it? Wow.
Yeah, Spider-Verse smoked her.
Spider-Verse is a great team, by the way. When they're fully finished, because Marauders isn't finished yet. It's as if they had somebody that's like supposed to be on there called Gambit. I mean, just
yeah,
we don't know for sure.
But anyway, so what do we have for Q&A?
Oh,
anything now?
We got a lot.
Yeah, like 5 or so. Got a couple.
Queue it up for Q&A.
So, Higgy asked earlier, when are they rolling it back in regards to the ability challenge?
My assumption is probably going to be Tuesday, because that's typically what they do, or like Monday night at 8 p.m. would be my assumption. So, because that's when they typically do
no
it. Once the
official announcement.
No.
Okay.
No.
Crocs asked, with T4s moving toward leagues, what will be the season rewards? I wonder.
Don't know
yet, right?
Yeah,
we'll find out in at raid and season reset, which will be at 3 p.m. Eastern ish.
Today.
Oh, yeah, Sunday.
Yeah,
we'll find out today.
We should be able to see it when the season resets.
Got it.
Between today and tomorrow.
Crocs again. Will that affect every second week? A double question. Will that affect every second week where you can leave whenever, because the war season ranking rewards won't have T4s anymore? Will that affect every second week where you can leave whenever, because that war season? Because the war season ranking rewards won't have T4s anymore. I don't know what that means.
But I think there's still going to be a high gate of rewards behind there. Probably they might shift some of the actual war credits behind there. We'll have to see.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a good question, and I hope they thought of it the way that you did.
Wax GR asks, RemanX, how many 7 red stars do you have? And for all of you, have you seen the guy with the 7 red stars?
So I have 7 red stars, and I do know Running Accident has 12 red stars, or 7 red stars.
7
and
red stars.
I know a few people with 10 out there. It's just,
Well, they could also get the hell out. Higgy's question, should they not just give new players campaign? Did I miss this, Higgy? Was there more to this question?
Oh yeah, that question was.
Did I miss some of it? Oh, here you go.
You did.
Okay, sorry. Should they not just give new players campaigns or ways to unlock tunes like Min and Yo-Yo?
So like bring the event back for a one-time shot, they'd make less money, so they probably won't do it. I mean, I think they should.
Agreed.
I think they should have like a login calendar. Let's people catch up to maybe like a 3-star version of them. Some high profile.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
So something where it's not so like the Widowmaker calendar coming back is such a huge deal, because how do you get Captain Marvel otherwise? So as a new player, your experience is drastically diminished because of and that's the thing, right? This game is seeing extraordinary growth at a new player level. And for this game to be successful from a marketing standpoint, no, they don't hire me. They should hire me as a consultant, but I am available these days.
I think we all are.
Plug. Selfless plug. That basically, if they appealed to them and gave them more accessible, had more people accessible to the new player base, then they would be more likely to spend and probably continue to play the game. It becomes a frustration factor where, for instance, a couple of the friends that I had that started this game, that I found them in this game, they came to my stream one day and they're like, "Oh, dude, I didn't know you're playing this game." And then they're like, "No, I'm done. I'm not going to spend in this game. I can't catch up." And so all those events that have kind of come and gone that have allowed us to build our roster over 2 years, not being available for new players is a big factor in why.
Sure.
Yeah, it's just this game could be the number 1 game in all of America, all the world. But
is Is there an actual confirmation that there's in-game catch-up mechanics in terms of drops for new players for like orb opening drops? Because I think it's highly like I asked this because I've been playing for a year and I've gotten really lucky with specifically red star drops, and that could just be RNG. It honestly could, but I've gotten a stupid amount of 5 and 6 red stars. That shouldn't be.
What if I told you that some of the theories behind this, and it's a theory, it's not, there's a lot of testing, is that you kind of get them on tunes that you don't have maxed. So a new player has less units maxed. So it basically, so what happens is like you're getting a 6 red star on a character that you don't have maxed. What does it make you want to do?
Yeah.
What does it make you want to do? Just tell me.
Pay to max that shit to get to buy into it.
To buy the pack so that you can get them stars.
I've always thought was interesting because someone mentioned earlier that Tana has a really good video on for newer players, which I wasn't familiar with, but very interesting to check that out. I've had friends hit me up like, hey, I see you playing this, I want to check it out, and I'll just be like, I don't want to say no to you, but like just understand, like you do what you want, you can still have fun with this, but just understand, like I'm only a year in and I'm still catching up insanely hard, 82nd Airborne asks, wild speculation, what do you think the next team to be reworked is?
Okay, so based on the current, so it's not wild speculation, they kind of talked about it. I think it's going to be more unit specific, where we're going to have Black Widow and Night Nurse, and that's not, so you guys know that, right? They're going to be reworked and made relevant again. That was
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Night Nurse is going to be, so Night Nurse is confirmed on their rework schedule. Basically, so what happened was, I think it was, what's the magazine that's put out by GameStop?
Game Informer.
So I think Bender went on Game Informer and gave him an exclusive interview that talked about the state of PvP and some of the things that were coming to the game. So basically, so he talked about how they kind of rework units around when movies come out. So I do expect, if wild speculation, WandaVision, this TV show is coming out, so we should see a Scarlet Witch / maybe Doctor Strange / Vision rework, maybe some synergy in there. We'll probably see, as these movies come out, that'll be one of this. So Guardians of the Galaxy 3, probably Ravagers reworked 2022. When they're relevant again. No, but I'm
right.
I think Mercenaries might become something, because Mercenaries may be featured in the Black Widow movie, because we do know that there is going to be a featured mercenary in there.
True.
Do you guys know who it is?
Yeah, Taskmaster.
Yeah, Taskmaster. So that is that's not wild speculation. It is kind of like a educated guess.
Yeah, that'd be interesting, to say the least. Where am I at? Sen asked a last minute question for Reman. If you have a 4-star 6 red Sinister and you clone someone, does it give you the clone 6 red stars, or does it match your 4-star red star?
It is your clone that gives it the abilities and the red star. So it comes from your Sinister. So if you had a 7 red star Phoenix, you don't get a 7 red star Phoenix by cloning it. You get, so basically think of it like it's Mr. Sinister's own skill level to clone.
Wait, no, I think it's, so if you have a 4-star 6 red star Sinister and you clone someone, I think he's asking, does it give you whatever, like,
no, it's based on your power level. So it'll be a 4 red star.
Yeah, not like the back channel,
because you don't have the other stuff unlocked.
Right. Fair. Okay, cool. And I think that was it for that's it for questions.
Cool.
Yeah. I think I wanted to say one thing, by the way, guys.
Yeah, sure.
The MSF for MSF, there's, for all the streamers and all the folks that turned out from the community that supported it, and you guys literally brought me to tears. I know on an individual level how much all this has impacted you guys, from the ability, for many of you guys may have lost your jobs. Many of you guys are in, and many of the folks who gave money were folks who were directly impacted by this, whether they had loved ones in the hospital or they had, somebody in this room might have lost their job and was able to find a way to give. The reason why I got my mind blown was because I happen to know. I mean, that's what blew my mind the most, was the generosity, the overwhelming generosity from the community. And it makes me proud to play this game with you guys, and hopefully for you guys. I hope you guys do get some stuff from the content that I bring and the guys here in this room bring, because we really love you guys, and hope that we play together for years to come.
Yeah, I know we say, like, don't you dare say community with the thing about you love about the game, but like that really is what it comes down to, though. Community is everything in this game. That's the part of the reason why we play this game. It's the reason why we do this podcast. That's the reason why we keep having on guests and whatnot to come talk to everybody and to share their thoughts and feelings and whatnot, because it really is like the people is what makes this game amazing to play, and like just to hang out with people in Discord and just talk about everyone is just so, everyone has there's different people who are super sarcastic, Whopper, and whatnot, and then there's other people.
I've been in an alliance with Whopper before you guys were.
Yeah. So it's just like there's a lot of people who bring a lot of different personalities to the thing, but the overarching thing is everyone cares about this game. We all play it, and the reason why we complain so much is because we want it to be the best game that it can possibly be, because we really love the communities that we brought, and we don't want to quit the game. But when it gets to a point of where like it's too much, that's where some people's breaking point is certain. So that's why we complain a lot. We really want it to be the best it can be. So anyway, Reman, thank you very much for coming on and being a guest on the podcast yet again. Where can people find you streaming or YouTubing and all that?
So I am available on Twitch, RemanX. You guys could join the X-Force over there. Become, fly in like Peter. You guys, it's my rebranding stage here. So you can join the X-Force. We are also doing a video a day series. I've got a lot of stuff that I'm shooting going on Focus Up Gaming on YouTube. You'll find that link also on my server. You can join me on my Discord, the Focus Up Gaming link. I'll make sure these guys have it, so I can put in the description of this. I think Vash is an admin over there, so he can do that. He can also make sure he plugs these. I'll get him set up so that the bot announces this in there too. So that's it, guys. But I am always on Wiki. I'm on almost every day, except for yesterday when I got was exhausted from shooting videos. God, I didn't realize.
Yeah, it's fun.
I can't realize it's like stressful, because it's being like doing it live. It's out there, you're done, whatever. But trying to record it and then like try to get it perfected, it was a whole nother like stress experience for me.
So imagine, okay, I want to just take you into Charlie and I's life for just a second. Imagine you have that stress. You are dealing with you want it to be perfect, right? Now add in about 30 other people, add in someone telling you, just one more time. Dude, I think we can do it better one more time. I'm talking about a director. If you're making that face, Charlie, I wasn't sure if you're making.
Oh, I kind of got it.
Okay,
I was either thinking me or a DP or a
no. Just it's my favorite thing when directors are just like, one more. It's not one more, buddy. All right, it's not one more. 31 mores. So yes. So imagine all of that, and then also you don't have any money to do it.
Imagine.
Yeah, and then you have the clients for commercial side who just like, well, I kind of like. Does it seem like it's too red? Does it just seem like it's just too red? Like you can color correct it later, but it just seems like it's too red. Too red. Can we dial down the red a little bit?
You're absolutely correct.
Yeah, I
feel like this definitely happened to him at some point in time.
Having PTSD.
100%.
No, but
yeah.
So I think that's actually like one of the biggest things is like when I was doing, I have no skill whatsoever. Go ahead.
You have tons of skill, buddy.
No, when it comes to editing videos, not at all. It's just it's like.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna I'll get back into streaming that edit again because I'm gonna get into that. That was a lot of fun. Everyone just coming in and watching me edit, do that stuff was cool.
The reason why I recommended it was because maybe I did want to watch you use that program.
That's a wonderful. I'll say this: editing, like cinematic things, either television, a movie, documentary, whatever, is actual. I think is actually art involved. Editing, like quote unquote content, you can learn it. Like you could like just watch YouTube videos how to use the program, learn hotkey or hotkeys, etc. And you'll learn it. So the more you do it, you'll get better at it. Right? So that's the wonderful thing about doing like stuff like this. You'll get better at it.
Well, I can't get any worse.
Get good.
I can't get worse. That's the good news. I can't get worse.
Can't get worse.
Good.
100%. So anyway, thank you, Reman. Thank you for joining us yet again. You can find us on Instagram at og.podcast, or Twitter is overachieversp. Our website is beingoverachiever.com, where you get this episode and every episode where we talk about Marvel Strike Force, video games, and a bunch of other things like deli meats. I don't know. I don't know where I was going. Anyway, I always got to figure out something for that, but I never do. But anyway, you can also find us live whenever we stream this, normally like 9 a.m. on Sunday mornings at twitch.tv/OG Podcast. We also have Patreon, so if you want to give us a couple bucks to help us through these times, you don't have to, but if you want to, it is patreon.com/overachievers. Also, all that stuff is in the link below in the description. So anyway, thank you guys very much. We'll be on live for a little bit longer, but for now, this will be the end of the podcast.
Who else is streaming today?
I don't know. We'll find out. But anyway, see you guys later. Bye.